Next is the protracted crisis rocking Nigeria's main opposition, the People's Democratic Party, PDP. The crisis intensified on Friday when the Federal High Court in Abuja restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing the outcome of the party's planned national convention scheduled for Ibadan in Oyo State. Now, Justice James Omotosho issued the order while delivering judgment in a suit challenging the legality of the convention. The PDP national leadership in its reaction said it will go ahead with its convention as the court judgment did not ban its convention from holding. The party, however, said it is appalled by the judgment of the Federal High Court, describing it as an assault on Nigeria's democratic process. Meanwhile, the National Working Committee of the party has suspended for 1 month the National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, National Organizing Secretary, Honorable Umar Bature, National Legal Advisor, Kamaldeen Ajibade, and Deputy Legal Advisor, Okechukwu Osoha. The National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologunagba, made the announcement after a marathon meeting of the Working Committee on Saturday. All the suspended officials are reportedly loyal to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. And for some news just in, we also hear that there's a counter suspension by the Samuel Anyanwu group. So they are actually forming a faction, and they've suspended Umar Damagum for 1 month, just like they were suspended earlier. And then they also suspended National Financial Secretary for alleged financial misappropriation of funds meant for buying funds. The youth leader of the party was suspended. Deputy National Secretary suspended too, among others. Well, Arise News will be following all these reports. Stay with us. All right, joining us right now is a PDP chieftain and former presidential media advisor, Sani Umar, who is well versed with the politics of the PDP. Thank you so much, Umar, for joining us.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And what's your immediate reaction to this counter suspension by the Samuel Anyanwu group? I mean,
well, that is just an effort to try to cover their shame, and that's why they did the counter, because they do not have the authority, to suspend the national chairman. The national chairman, suspended them after the 608th NWC meeting.
That's the National Working Committee.
National Working Committee meeting. They were suspended. And the National Working Committee are made up of 19 members. And out of those 19, the 4 that were suspended cannot suspend. They do not even form a quorum to be able to hold a meeting and be able to suspend the national chairman. So their suspension is...
So it will be 4 against 15?
Yeah, 4 against 15. So their suspension is merely reactionary. And that suspension cannot stand. It is just to cover their shame.
And what will give them such audacity to want to take such a decision, considering that there are processes, the constitution and all of that, and over time, I mean, they've always been an NWC in place. Are they saying that they have their own separate NWC now?
Well, no, what they are trying to do is to create confusion in the eyes of the public. But in the minds of those who are PDP members, we know that the NWC, chaired by Damagun, had followed the proper procedure. Okay. One, to summon a meeting of the NWC, it is the national chairman that is empowered by law to summon a meeting. And he has summoned a meeting. And in attendance were 15 members of the National Working Committee. Now, after those ones, they deliberated. They are empowered by Section 58 and Section 59 of the PDP Constitution. If they find anybody guilty of, or if they find anybody who has committed any offense, to suspend him for a period of 1 month, where thereafter they pass him over to the National Disciplinary Committee, where the people will go and defend themselves before they will be given fair hearing, and then they will defend themselves. So they have followed all the due processes of the Constitution. I don't know where Anyanwu and his people held their meeting.
Including the National Legal Advisor of the party.
The National Legal Advisor, I learned, is not even in town.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, he's in London.
Oh.
So I don't know. So there are 3 people who held the meeting.
All right. I mean, so the major thing Nigerians are looking forward to right now is there a convention that will be holding or not?
Yes. The judgment of Justice Omotosho yesterday merely asks us to give INEC another 21-day notice. And we do not agree with him because that's a concluded matter. The matter we have written that letter. That letter is not even part of the contention of those people who filed the suit. So he merely went ahead to give them reliefs they didn't seek for.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So that's not contained in the prayers.
It's not contained in their prayers. So he went ahead to give them something they didn't ask for.
Is the judge not embarking on self-help?
Yeah, no. The judge is merely. We already understand the judge, and we all know that within the PDP, we know that any matter before him involving Wike, we are not going to win. We know that. And
you didn't petition the National Judicial Council?
Well, we cannot continuously. It is when he now, displays his bias. That's when we will do that. And he has now displayed his bias, and we are going to petition the National Judicial Council over this matter because most of the things we were looking for judgment were not given. For instance, we asked for, that he had no jurisdiction to entertain the matter. He did not even rule on that jurisdiction matter.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, he didn't rule on that jurisdiction matter. For us, he went just ahead into the case and started suspending everything that we presented. He was putting them aside, preparing his grounds. That's why when I wrote something, I said that judgment is prejudicial, it is premeditated, and it is politically motivated.
Well, interesting submission that you've got here. Now, in all of this, where does the judgment of the Supreme Court earlier on lie, where the Supreme Court has stated that any issue that has to do with internal procedures of the party, the court has no right to get into it? Because I hear some of your leaders are also counting on that.
Yes.
The judgment.
Yeah, the reason why our leaders are counting on it. Yesterday, while he was delivering judgment, the judge erroneously said that the matter is between the plaintiffs and INEC. If the matter is between plaintiffs and INEC, why are you bringing PDP into it? PDP is there, NWC is there, NEC is there, and some other officers of the party were all sued. So how come that you are bringing, when the matter is between INEC, because he was trying to dodge that the matter is an internal matter. And so because he was trying to dodge it, that's why he now laid it over there that it is an INEC matter. The judge really didn't do well at all.
All right, the tenure of the National Working Committee actually expires pretty soon, in just a few weeks and all of that. And then this convention, you're saying you're going ahead. Wouldn't it be a violation of a court judgment? Whether the court judgment is right or wrong, wouldn't that amount to a violation of a court judgment?
What will interest you to note is that the issues that they raised, that we had no congresses in 14 states, is not correct. The only congresses even those the petitioners were complaining over, is Anambra, Ebonyi, Cross River, and Southeast Zonal Congress. These are the only ones they were complaining.
14?
Not 14. Not 14.
Oh, okay.
These were the ones they were complaining about.
Because I know that of Plateau was concluded last week.
Last week, Niger, was concluded. Lagos was concluded. Ekiti, Ondo, all these things were done. So these are the only 4 states that were remaining. But he went further and these 4, there is a subsisting court order from the Enugu Federal High Court telling the PDP not to conduct them until the final determination of the matter. Okay. And which we also, it was part of our item that we brought before him. Yet, it's a court of coordinate jurisdiction. He is not supposed to put aside the judgment of a court and then issue his own judgment. That is trying to show, bravado.
Now, if the PDP does go ahead with this convention, is there any likelihood that INEC will be present? Wouldn't INEC interpret it that you're going against the court judgment?
No.
And if INEC is not present, wouldn't it mean that all the people who will emerge as PDP officials may just be null and void?
There are several options legally available, one of which is that we can apply, we can appeal and then apply for stay of execution. If we apply for stay of execution, it means that that judgment will no longer be binding. Then we will go ahead with our convention. You know, and at the end of the convention, if there is anything, it is only to be nullified. But the conventions, we have already conducted the convention legally. So we don't have any problem.
And is this suspension not coming too late? Because I mean, people keep saying that you should have taken this, you know, chances to wield the big stick against those who, in quote, you presume, are against the chances of the PDP holding a convention. Why is this coming now? And then, of course, you see that the Samoanyan faction too has also gone ahead to suspend Damaguma and others.
The suspension is not coming too late. These were the things we were trying to avoid, because we know that the problems within the PDP is induced. It is induced by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Yes, on Wike.
Yes, on Wike.
And you have your facts?
Well, we have our facts. It is induced by him. This is somebody who has clearly stated that he will support Tinubu in 2027. I don't know why somebody will have any business to do with PDP. Because whoever we present as presidential candidate, he has already said he is not going to support him. He's going to support. So in that respect, he has committed anti-party.
You were all watching him.
No, what we wanted to do was to systematically ease him and his cohorts out of the party
through the convention.
Through the convention.
Oh, interesting.
So we did not want to create so many fisticuffs along the road.
All right, and I want to read the statement. You said, we are happy that we have fought impunity, while on another part, we are not happy with what's going on in the party. That's Nyesom Wike. It's unfortunate that the so-called purported National Convention cannot hold. It has never been bad like this in the People's Democratic Party. How do you react to Wike's statement? He's not happy that this has happened, but on one hand, too, he's also happy because it was an act of impunity by a few sections of the
I
leadership.
think if there is anybody who will be accused of impunity within the PDP, it is Nyesom Wike.
So why was he not suspended alongside all others?
Well, right from the beginning, he had already established himself as the chief, so what do I call it? Somebody who navigates the activities of the party. When Adamu Azu resigned from the party, we didn't even know how Alimodu Sharif was brought in. It was Wike and Fayoshi that brought him. There was no contest. There was nothing. They only just brought him and fixed him as the chairman of the party. Nobody complained because we wanted the party to continue. That's impunity. Again, when Alimodu Sharif created that crisis, he was the one, along with some other people, that brought McCarthy and said, okay, do caretaker committee. Again, it is the same Wike who now brought JK is okay, this man from Lagos, I've forgotten his name, the former gubernatorial candidate PDP Lagos, that he was going to support him.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the TV guy,
yes.
His name is actually skipping me now, but just go ahead.
Yes. Now, he said he was going to support him. He jettisoned him along the road, and then brought in Uche Secondos himself alone and put him there. Again, he removed Uche Secondos. Now he also brought in Ayu, and he was even boasting on national television everywhere on podiums that Ayu was saying thank you for bringing me. So
the PDP has a wicked problem.
So if there is a master of impunity, then if you say Wike, then you know that he is the master. It is because now that it is not favoring him, he is now believing that it is other people that are doing impunity and not him.
And that's why I ask you, why was Wike not suspended by the National Working Committee alongside Samuel Anyanwu and others? If you say the PDP has a wicked problem.
You see, the problem is not Wike himself. The problem is the actors he used.
Okay.
Now, if you suspend the actors, he will have no actors to use.
Okay, so you try to weaken him through the back door.
Exactly.
Now, let's talk about the issues that Wike himself has raised against the PDP. As you try to accuse him of all of this, he has also said that as a serving minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, governors of the PDP are meeting and they are not deeming it fit to invite him or even the leadership of the party to invite him and hear his views on decisions, including the same convention. So why would he sit down and allow all of these people to go ahead
and
do their work?
The Constitution does not recognize a minister. The Constitution of the PDP recognizes a governor.
But he's a former governor and he's a member of NEC.
Even a former governor is not recognized by the Constitution. It is a serving governors.
Is he not a member of NEC by the fact that he held that governorship office?
As a member of NEC, the party has been able to show evidence that they have been inviting him to NEC meetings and that he has not been attending. He tried to deny, but the party showed acknowledgement where they actually took the letters to him. So there is no excuse that he's going to give. There are certain meetings he is not a member. He's not a member of caucus, he's not a member of BOT. And he's just a member of NEC. And if he doesn't come, NEC will continue its meeting.
All right, as we try to close stop now, let's talk about Samuel Anyanwu, a national secretary of the party being suspended. So if you were to follow Justice Omotoshaw's judgment and to write to INEC, who's going to countersign alongside Damagu?
We have already, the Deputy National Secretary has been duly appointed. We have a right to suspend anybody and put forward another person.
Well, you tried that last time, man.
No.
INEC was dilly-dallying about it.
No. The last time, what happened was a different ball game altogether. We were supposed to expel him from the party and then appoint somebody. But we did not expel him. We allowed him to, because at that time, they were in good terms with Damagun and the rest. So he was allowed to. Otherwise, when he went to contest election, he's not supposed to come back as a secretary.
Well, others have been able to go and come back, like the Deputy National Publicity Secretary, including Governor Kefas in Taraba and all of that. So, I mean, he kept saying that why was his own isolated and why was he treated differently? But as we try to close from this conversation, I want to talk about Kabiru Tanemu Turaki and his endorsement, and why Sule Lamido keeps insisting that if he is not sold a form, the PDP may just not end up having a presidential candidate or even candidates in other elections.
You see, let me be frank with you. Kabiru Tanemu Turaki is the choice of the governors. And the governors have a wider, I have always said it here, that they are the #1 pressure group within the party because, like we always say, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. And
that's where they say the problem lies.
There is no problem. Nobody is raising the problem. The people who are contesting are the ones raising the problem. Did you see any member of the party shouting that we do not agree? No.
So, but why did they refuse to sell the forms to Sule Lamido? I mean, and you were saying that if he went to Wadata Plaza to look for forms, he should have asked, others and all. Why was he expected to actually purchase those forms? Or you were just playing politics?
No, I wasn't playing politics. If the National Convention Committee has taken over the activities of the convention, and so the National Financial Secretary is in charge of sales of forms, and the National Financial Secretary is in the headquarters of the National Convention Planning Committee. That's where he sits.
That's at the Legacy House.
At the Legacy House. That's where he sits.
All right.
So if you want to buy form, you can't go to Wadata. You have to go to the Legacy House. Secondly, at the time Sule Lamido was trying to buy the form, the sales of forms started in September, on September 2nd. There was a circular to that effect, and it ended on September 22nd. It was the submission of the form, which was supposed to expire on 16th October, which was shifted to 27th of October as the final day for the submission of the form. So how can on the final day of submission, you now go looking for form?
All right, interesting question. But just before I let you go, very quickly, can we by chance say that Sule Lamido has joined the Wike faction in the PDP? Does it seem so? Because I saw him in Samuel Anyawu's office and the camaraderie and with Umar Bature and all of that. A whole lot of people are confused. I mean, in the world of PDP politics, you know better.
I don't know, but I am so. It appears so. The reason why I say it appears so is because Sule Lamido was one of the very first people who said he will not participate in any activities of the PDP unless Wike is suspended or expelled from the party. He has stopped participating in any of the activities of the party for over a year. You understand? So for him now to come back and be romancing the Wike faction means that he is fraternizing with them.
All right, interesting observations there. Of course, I also spoke with some political leaders who are saying that, I mean, they're actually afraid of Sule Lamido emerging. I mean, some of your groups are afraid of Sule Lamido emerging because if he does emerge, maybe an Atiku will still have a leg. Atiku Abubakar may still have a leg in the PDP politics at the national level.
No, that is not the major fear. The major fear is that Sule Lamido has gone to ADC. And he has held a meeting with them, and it has been publicized. And he was captured on camera.
All right.
So he has come out clearly to say that he is in PDP, but he will work for ADC.
All right, interesting.
So no political party will take that.
Submission. I guess that's the Wike politics that's ongoing. You're one leg in the PDP and maybe in APC or ADC and all of that.
Exactly.
Well, Umar, thank you so much for joining us to clarify some of these issues. And of course, just before we end, we've got that information that while the National Working Committee of the PDP, led by Umar Damagun, has suspended Samuel Anyanwu and others for 1 month, while Samuel Anyanwu and others have indeed gone ahead to also suspend Umar Damagun and other members of the LWC for 1 month. Well, we'll watch right here at Arise News to see what's happening. But that's the much we can take on this edition of This Week. Thanks to our production team here in Abuja, Lagos, and London. We'll join us same time next week for another exciting edition. I'm Somna Sambo.